On April 29th of 2024, child psychiatrist Dr. Dave Tatum was sentenced to 40 years in prison because he had used increasing accessibility of generative AI in order to digitally alter images of his patients, children, in order to remove their clothing. He was sent to prison on a technicality because he had generated child pornography of real victims. But as artificial intelligence every day becomes more capable of generating child pornography and sexual assault material of victims who don't exist, we're forced to ask today's question. Should the US government impose stricter regulations on artificial intelligence in 2025? We answer today that not only should it, but it must, for three main reasons. Firstly, because artificial intelligence is being used against our society's most vulnerable and making real some of our worst impulses. Then, how artificial intelligence is having a very real negative impact on the labor force. And finally, the raw amount of resources that it takes for ChatGPT to write funny diss tracks. Firstly, it's important to note that we've seen what's happening coming because Dr. Dave Tatum isn't the only user of artificial intelligence in this way. The refusal of the United States government to act has gone as far back as the Internet Watch Foundation reports on October 21st of 2023. The United States government had already been posited the possibility of incidents like this occurring because artificial intelligence all the way back then was capable of generating sexual assault material and child sexual assault material of real victims. But a moral dilemma comes up for the United States government as artificial intelligence uses images and real videos of sexual assault in order to generate fake ones. It is because of the increase in the accessibility of illegal material that the government needs to act because these people have already been through enough and their material is being used in order to train artificial intelligence models to create more. We can see plainly that the US government needs to act in order to protect our society's most vulnerable who've already been through enough. It's not just this, though, because if you think you might work in a workplace that's vulnerable to advances in artificial intelligence, you very well might be right. A significant victory was won against the problem of artificial intelligence during the 2023 Screen Actors Guild and AFTRA strike. One of the biggest problems for Hollywood actors and screenwriters was artificial intelligence as Hollywood companies sought to ramp up their potential to use artificial intelligence to animate actors and generate new scripts. And while the writers' strike did succeed in its advancements in protecting its workforce from artificial intelligence, it's important to note that there is actually no legal defense for what they're doing, and they'll have to succeed in this again come time for the next Hollywood round of contracts. It is because of this that we recognize that without significant action, Hollywood actors, writers, and directors are at significant risk of being automated. Even if you don't work in an industry that you think might be vulnerable to artificial intelligence, though, you very well may be, because according to Forbes on July 17th of last year, 73% of Fortune 500 human resources officers reported that in the course of the next 3 years, they're planning on replacing jobs with artificial intelligence. And seeing as intelligence from the S&P 500 tends to trickle down to smaller businesses and organizations, it's important to recognize that even if you're not in an industry that already today seems like it's at risk of automation, you very well might be tomorrow, especially as historically when technological innovation has led to changes in employment, there has been an alternative. But seeing as Innovations in new industries are becoming increasingly difficult to come by without significant education. It's important to note that generative AI might leave people out of a job with no alternative. Even if you are completely immune to artificial intelligence as a worker, though, it's important to note that your world isn't. Because according to the United Nations Environment Program that was released on September 21st of 2024, artificial intelligence requires significant resources in order to function. It consumes 10 times the electricity of a Google search, or the amount of electricity that it requires to run a light bulb for 20 minutes in just one ChatGPT inquiry. It also requires the mining of rare earth minerals, often by slave labor in Western Africa. In addition, it uses the resources that we have at home, not just abroad, because according to Veolia Water Solutions on August 22nd of 2024, artificial intelligence's consumption of water in the United States is flying up year over year. In fact, it flew up 36% from 2023 to 2024, a significant factor for the cause of the LA water fires, as a significant factor for causation of the LA wildfires, as water in the region was being used to cool AI systems. We can see through this that one of the sectors in which AI is driving significant innovation is disaster. So, when asking today's critical question, should the US government impose stricter regulations on artificial intelligence in 2025? We answer, unfortunately, that it must. Because AI is being used to generate sexual assault material, it's being used to replace workers, and its side effects of its use are leading to very real disasters.